So, topic number 3 is we're going to talk about triggers on social media. What triggers you? So, first person first. I'm gonna let Kim go first because this is our topic. So I'm gonna let her go first.
So this one I had to think about because my first instinct was to pick blatant racists. Like, not the people that you kind of have to try, or you're trying to make understand something. The people who are like, fuck people of color, and I know I'm, they're aware that they're pieces of shit. That was my first instinct. But I realized that trigger doesn't necessarily mean like you have to respond, but like it just deeply fucking bothers you, like sheer. And right below blatant ass racist is people who joke about rape. I feel like there's that little space in the fire of my pit that I save just for those people that I picture killing just a little bit. And so that's my...
So I'm going to go first. And without kind of talking about what I'm going to talk about, I actually hate people that mess with people that they know they can beat. Rape is about power. It's not about attractive. It's just about making sure you have power over somebody. And unfortunately, if you rape somebody that you know you have power over, that makes you a bitch, a true bitch. I want to say certain things, but again, it kind of go off with I want to say, so I'm gonna cut off a little bit. But you's a bitch if you rape somebody. It's hands down, and you deserve, and you especially if you do it to kids. Especially if you do it to kids. So I'm a big Paul Mooney fan, and even though there's allegation of Paul Mooney doing that to Richard Pryor's son, I am a big Paul Mooney comedy fan. And what Paul Mooney said was, if you rape one of my kids or touch one of my kids, I'm going to cut your head off, I'm going to take it to the bar, and then I'm going to order drinks for it. Just give me a beer and give my friend a Jack and Jameson. And that's how I feel. You touch any of my family, I'm going to fuck you up. One thing I'm not afraid. Like, listen, I once said on a past episode, so I'm afraid to go to jail for certain reasons. But if it's for a good reason, I am not afraid to go to jail. You touch my family, especially if and when I have kids, you touch my kids, I will kill you.
No smile in the mug shot.
Oh yeah, and probably will too. Listen, give you a Wayans Brothers opening scene smile, and I might actually high five my smile. Listen, don't touch my kids. Don't touch my family. Okay, CJ is on you.
Yeah. Well, actually, the trigger was when people joking about fucking rape. But,
I know.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, we're all here against rape. Like that's it shouldn't. It shouldn't have to be said. The fact that it does have to be said is ridiculous. Especially when like we're in a society now that people are especially like people with money and everything, like they're talking about like how they have to protect their sons and everything from these allegations and all this stuff. We need to protect their sons and protect their future and everything. So I do. They're fucking horrible people. Dude, what they did was fucking wrong. No, you don't even protect your sons. No, you need to protect the fucking victims. It's just the way our society is run. It is completely backwards. It all stems from when we were fucking younger, and Yeah, and they start, and women have to dress a certain way, because because they distract the men. No, that itself is stupid. That's how and that's how one is being raised now. It's not correct. Like, no, women should be able to wear anything they want, and the guys should be taught to behave your fucking self. Get some self fucking control. Yeah, like, no, yeah, they're putting all of it on the fucking woman. Which is bad because it's only a small percentage of the actual race are really being, that are really small percentage of the people get raped that are actually coming forward. Is and the ones that do
I do want to add, just because I don't want to trigger anyone.
Yeah.
He does mean women and men. Rape is not exclusive to just being female victims.
True.
I know CJ enough to know that's what he means, so I want to drop that nugget in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What I'm saying is men, men or women, the fucking burden is always placed on the victim, and not the person committing the crime. And that is a major problem in this country with a lot of things.
So I do want to admit something though.
Yeah.
One, I never and I never will. Like I'm always going to fight for what's right. So I think don't. So when I say that, don't be shocked at anything I'm about to say. However, I think privately we talked about this. I don't think I aired it. Talking about how we used to, when we went to like dollar parties or clubs, we used to just go up. We wouldn't ask. We would just go up and grind on a girl, and then she'll go along with it. If she wanted to dance with you, if she didn't, she just push off. And that was a part of something what people call rape culture. Rape culture is real. It is. It's the things we did that we thought was innocent. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't say I did it, because I did. However, I didn't know what I was doing. It takes a real man or a real person to admit when they was wrong and learn from what they had done. Like the aggressive things I did at parties, just trying to dance with a girl, as far as I went. Because I fought for people that, like my family knows, my friends and family knows, if you're a true friend or family to me, you can come to me. You tell me one thing, they do. You tell me anybody try to force things on you, I will go up there with the ass. I did it plenty of times in Philly. I did it. Not saying no names. I did it here. I don't play that shit, and I learned from rape culture.
First and foremost, rape is an extremely serious allegation, an accusation. If you or anyone has been raped or sexually assaulted, come forward. I know it's hard. I know you a lot of people wait for the right time. There isn't a right time. Unfortunately, you've been wronged and you need to get justice for it. With that being said, to look at the other flip side of the pillow, because I am objective, please do not go with everyone and make up things. I know that's kind of a hot button issue, but me personally,
that's a real issue.
It is a real issue. You are 100% right. But I talked about the whole issue earlier today, where there was a period about a month and a half ago where they were listing a lot of people's names. And a couple of them came forward afterwards and said they were just following the trend and falsely put people's names out there. That shit can fuck somebody's life up. What was that? That football player's was that Brian Banks, right?
Brian Banks.
He got falsely accused of rape, lost his scholarship, spent years in prison. And
you can ruin someone's life.
He was going to be a huge football player, and he got it all taken away because of an accusation. Now, I'm not trying to say believe what people are saying. If somebody comes to you and has the courage to say that this happened, you have every right to believe everything they're saying. But there are those people in this world who are twisted. And that's kind of along the lines of what Cam is saying her biggest triggers are. There are people who make light of a situation like that have a special spot in hell reserved for them. And it's, like I said, I have been wrongfully accused of rape because me and a girl had consensual sex, and her and I got in a big fight afterwards. And the first thing I heard the next day I got to school, hey, I heard you raped her. And it was bad. So it's not fun. It's not, and like I said, for anyone who has ever dealt with that stuff, there are people you can talk to. I know it's hard, I know it's scary, but there are people who are willing to listen and people who will believe in you. And like Cam said, if you joke about this shit, fuck you and your mom. So
I just want to drop a nugget, and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because I know we have other things that we need to get through. But Evan touched on something that consistently bothers me. And it's not necessarily on even like my main trigger, but just the fact that one person in a society can be accused of something with hard evidence and get a slap on the wrist. And then another person could be accused of the same thing with absolutely no evidence and have their life demolished.
you see it everywhere, and it's not for once. This topic isn't actually it's not necessarily a race thing, a gender thing, anything like that. There are just plenty of people who have been falsely accused that have their life fucked up, and then there are people who are just walking free after a slap on the wrist. The main name I think of is fucking Brock Turner. For those who don't remember the Brock Turner case, Brock Turner was caught red-handed raping a woman behind a dumpster. Dude got 6 months in prison and now walks free. And his mom wants everyone to remember him as the good little academic swimmer white boy that he was. No, he's a rapist. Period, point blank, end of story.
Yeah.
But people like Brian Banks go to jail for years, 10 plus years, give up everything because he got falsely. It's just like, that's not my trigger that I'm going to talk about today, but false accusations of rape really fucking boil me to the core.
I know what Evan said wasn't a race thing, but being falsely accused of sexual conduct, don't forget Emmett Till. Emmett Till whistled at a white woman. And then the white lady said that he did more than whistle. Supposedly whistled at a white woman. The white woman said she did more than it. And then no, fuck supposedly. She actually admitted that he didn't do it before she died. So and then forget that.
Not supposedly. She's not dead. The bitch admitted to lying. That raggedy hoe.
Let's talk about Black Wall Street. And how that burned down because somebody said that a black man raped a white woman on the elevator, and they burnt down a whole black neighborhood that was thriving. Churches, schools, businesses, lawyers, doctors, all that kind of good shit. Because one person decided to lie or admit. He decided to lie because she told the truth that she didn't do either. He decided to lie about one black man and burnt down a whole fucking neighborhood. I'm not saying that all allegations are true. However, if you did do it, I would like to whoop your ass.
If you did do it, just own up to it. Period, right. Point blank.
Also, for the men who feel unprotected out there, if you ever catch a bitch lying on you, I got those hands on deck. I will light that ass up because it's a two-way street.
It is.
All right. So my topic is on the lines of Cam's. I'm not I used to box. I like to fight sometimes. I do. I fought a lot in Philly. The reason why I have these scars in the back of my head is because of fighting. I fought a lot. I would never in my whole life lay my hand on a woman. And what triggers me is people that try to justify people that beat women or domestic violence, period, because it can happen both ways. So first of all, let me say this. Domestic violence it can happen both ways. It's just not a man beating up a woman. Women can beat men too. Oh, yeah. And domestic violence is not just physical. It's emotional, sexual, mental, and actually financial as well.
Okay, so you're talking about domestic abuse then? Not domestic violence, domestic abuse.
Domestic abuse, yes. However, I do not like when a man just beats on a woman for nothing at all. I can't stand that shit with the fucking passion for nothing. Just because you want control, you want power. 9 times out of 10, whoever I date, I'm going to be bigger and taller than them. I would never once think about abusing them at all. That's some bitch shit. Yes, and I'm talking to, if anybody watches this video and you do that, use a bitch. Use a whole bitch. Got a problem with that, you can come see me. You can come see me. I have no problem with somebody ass. Use a whole bitch.
Make an appointment.
With that being said, too,
Bitch.
with that being said, I do believe in self-defense. I do not believe that a man should hit a woman just because. However, I do see videos when women and men not touching them at all, women beating the shit out of them. Now, for me personally, if you do that to me, I know hoes. I used to work for foster kids and shelters and stuff like that. They teach you how to restrain people while hurting them. So I know those things. However, if I seen a couple videos, especially when there's one kid was sitting on the bleachers, this girl was kicking his ass. He didn't do anything but walk away, but she kept going after him. I'm not gonna lie. If you after like the 26, 27 hit, if he would have hit her back once, I would have been okay with that. I'm not gonna lie. Because he tried everything in his power to get away from that girl. Some women, I'm not saying all women, and please don't think that I'm trying to bash on women. I'm not. But some women do this. Some women just think because they're women, they can do anything to a man, and the man can't do shit back. It might not happen in your household. No, it might not happen in your school. No, it might not happen on your street, but it does happen. It really does. And that shit sucks. Because as a man, you're confused. You don't know what to do. If you take this ass whooping, or if you hit her once and then you're an abuser. I'll tell you the story. My ex-fiance, right? We lived together. She was the shift manager at Rite Aid, downtown Philly. I was the assistant manager at Cricket. So at the time that we were making good money, we were young, we was happy. It was around rent time, and I got a rent check, and I put it on the dresser. And next day I couldn't find it. And she thought for some reason I took it. So the whole day while at work and while she's at work, we arguing with each other. We got so bad to the fact that she said she's going to get people to beat me up. I said, word. Now I've been fighting a long time since then, so I was ready to rumble. I got my friends, I got Team Nasty, and I got my brother to come with me. Right? Side note. I'm the smallest out of my friends, like size wise. I'm the smallest at the time of the smallest out of my friends. I was taller than most of them, but I was smaller. So we walking down
my twig.
Not at the time. I was actually pretty bigger. I was actually on my
swole game. Yeah.
At the time, so we walking down the street. Her friends see us, and all they say was, "Yo, can we talk?" She told me after all the shit was over that he was supposed to go up there and punch me. But he didn't do it because he saw everybody I was with, and they were some small motherfuckers. So she knew what was going on. Like she knew that he was a bitch. So she said, no, I don't want them to fight you. I want to fight you. I said, listen, I'm not going to fight you, yo. So we live in a duplex. We live on the second floor duplex. They outside. I go in the house. I go upstairs. We start arguing. I start looking for a check. So my mind that I'm thinking about it. Like, listen, if I look for a check, this shit's all over. So I start looking for a check. I look through all the drawers. We still arguing. The top drawer was our panty drawer, and I looked it up, and it's right there. So I picked it up. I looked at like, what's this? She bum rushed me. Now Again, I didn't touch her. I didn't hit her, but I did grab her. And then we fell. And then we went through the bed, made a big boom, a really, really big boom. I got off of her. But at the time, everybody went upstairs. Everybody came upstairs and see me on her through this bed, thinking that I did something to her. I did not do anything to her. I got off of her. They pulled me back. She gave me I will admit, this is the smoothest Liu Kang kick to the face I ever had in my life. But she kicked the shit out of me with my face. I snapped. I didn't touch her, but I snapped. Her friends run, like not run, but out my way because I know that if they came near me, I was gonna punch the shit out of them. I wanted to rumble. My brother saw that shit. He wanted to rumble. The story is though that I didn't hit her. I would never put my hands on her. I could have destroyed her. I would never put my hands on a woman if I had to, because I don't need to. And if you do, use a bitch. Point blank to me, use a bitch, unless it's really, 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 really self-defense. That's all I got to say. Cam's on you.
So I obviously agree with you, DeAndre. It's another thing that shouldn't have to be said, but still has to be said in this day and age. Now as a woman, obviously I'm on the opposite side of the fence. You putting your hands on somebody already is a problem. Usually that shouldn't even be something you have to resort to unless you have to. Like you are in physical danger from them. They should never, it shouldn't be something you would initiate ever. Even when I was a kid, the rule was you don't hit somebody unless they hit you. So people's need to somehow put their hands on people makes no fucking sense to me. With that being said, in the specific situation of domestic violence and or abuse, obviously if it's a man hitting a woman, granted not every man is bigger or stronger than the woman next to them. Lane's bitch ass shot a whole person that's probably maybe I don't know, a couple inches taller than him, just because. But I agree with DeAndre. You a bitch if you put your hands on a woman. Now, with that being said, if said woman has gone out of her way to physically attack you and you've done your due diligence, try to remove yourself, all that shit, restrain her, all that shit, it is not working. I am not going to be mad if you snuff this hoe. However, something that still has to always be taken into account is, and again, I said this in the last episode, I'm really big on balance. So if she's 180 pounds and you 240 and she fucking you up and you get sick and tired of that shit and you give her everything you got in a two-piece, I don't find balance in that. Was she wrong? Yes. Do you need to break her jaw because of it? No. Do you need to do enough to get her to stop? Of course. So it's like I come from a big family. I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. I had a niece and nephew a niece that would not chill. Socked her in the stomach one day. But I didn't give her everything I had because she was years younger than me and I was bigger than her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Defending yourself is defending yourself. But letting your anger control you in response makes you just as bad. And I feel like that's where the line is that people don't understand when people say, hey, we understand that she was hitting you, but you didn't need to fuck her up like that. Like people like, oh, well, she hit me first. She was being that you become just as bad when you use your power in excess in any situation, let alone that one.
So I think they say something too.
So that's my response to that.
I agree with you. However, somebody asked me before, like I told them, like I don't hit women. He said, "Is there any situation do you find yourself like ever striking a woman?" And I thought about it. First, I said no, but then I thought about it. The only time you listen, and you can book this. If you ever hear about me hitting a woman, this is what happened. The only time you ever see me striking a woman, because again, even with, like I said, even the try beat my ass, I could put him in a hole. I can do the Lex Luger shit and then put him in that hole, like I would do one of those, the full Nelson, yeah. The only time you ever would see me hit a woman is if my life is in danger. If they come out with a fucking knife, maybe a bat, but definitely a gun. Like if my life is in danger, that's literally the only time. Literally the only time. I do not hit women. That shit is fucking that's for bitches. Literally. All right, CJ's on you.
All right. Yeah, this is a tough one. You know, of course, I'm against domestic abuse, domestic violence, all that. I'm gonna lie. I've hit 3 women in my life, but it was when I was younger. Well, when I was a kid, you know, me and my sister were fighting. She hit me like fucking 20 times, and I finally hit her back once. My dad ran down the stairs and fucking socked the shit out of me. Like, Jimmy, like, yeah, you don't do that. I don't care how many times you hit her, you do not do that. Then in high school, it wasn't intentional. Like, I was in an argument with somebody. The chick slapped me, and I immediately slapped her back. That happened twice. Since then I've learned it up, and I've, become smart enough to be able to regulate myself. To like, stop myself for doing something stupid like that. Because even though they hit me first, it's still doing the right thing to do. Like immediately after I did, I immediately apologized because it wasn't. Even though they slapped me first, it still wasn't right. At least in my opinion, wasn't. That being said, I think in any domestic situation like that, if it comes to violence, then there's something wrong in the relationship itself, or something wrong with the person you're with. You should get out of that situation immediately. If they're a person that can't, like verbalize, how they feel or like get their point across, do talking, debating, or even arguing. If they got, if they can't, they can't like, get that shit out. They have to fucking get violent. Then you should always get away from that. Immediately, just get away. And I say that with any type of abusive relationship. Get out as soon as possible. Do whatever you can. Get away. There's so many hotlines you can call, and there's so many places that you can go, counselors to help you, things you can do to get away from. They help you get away from that. You don't stay in that type of relationship.
So before I let Evan go, I do want to say that I know I said I've never hit a woman. However, I want to say it wasn't true. Actually, too. CJ's right. Well, similar to CJ, I was in sixth grade, maybe. And this is the reason why I'm so passionate about this. My mom, so I hit my sister once, literally once. Actually hit my sister, hit her in the nose, leaked her shit. I was maybe 7 years old. My mom tore the skin off my ass. And that's the reason why I'm so passionate now. I was so passionate. I'm passionate now. I actually, so people don't know, man. I gotta say this. I go to therapy for some stuff, for a lot of stuff, man. I need to talk about some stuff. Actually, my therapist is one of my closest friends because she's a therapist, and I know she can handle it. I found out that I have something called Superman syndrome, and it's self-diagnosed, but it's called Superman syndrome. Is the fact that I need to always save someone in a relationship. I find you attractive for some reason if you
You say,
help.
yeah.
if you need help. Yeah, literally, that's why I got married. Well, and plus I didn't feel loved, but she needed saving from her fucking stupid ass baby father, ex boyfriend.
So for
Um,
for to try to make light of the situation, because this is a very serious topic and everyone needs to smile at some point. You Captain Save a Hoe?
no, there wasn't hoes. I find women attractive that I have to save. That I think I have to save. It's not actually a good thing at all. I want, especially if you're from a domestic violence thing. I need to be like I want to be the savior, but I know I don't have to. With that being said, if I have to, I will.
You need to be needed.
That's probably true. However, this is going on the domestic violence thing. Like I said, I need to stop that, but I will. But I will whoop your ass if I need to. Evans on you. Evans on you.
So this topic is an interesting one. First off, I don't condone domestic abuse at all. There are so many ways to leave a relationship if shit goes sideways. You don't need to resort to belittling each other, hitting each other, stealing each other's money, stealing anything. Where I'm going to kind of differ on this is I have always had my mindset that if someone or anyone comes at me with intent to harm, I don't hold myself back. But I'm also a lot shorter. I'm only 5'8". A lot of people are my height as well. But I've gone on record. I've had women say that they're going to beat me up, and I told them straight up, I'll knock you the fuck out. I don't care. But with that being said, I'm not just going to walk up to a woman and hit her. No one deserves that. I'm not going to, try to assert my dominance because I'm a male. But I've always looked at it as if anyone comes at you with any intent to harm you, I don't see anything wrong with defending yourself. With that being said, there are limits. Like, it's the same thing with if someone were to break into your house, you have the right to defend yourself with the same amount of force as they're bringing to you. So, I mean, if they bring a gun, you can use a gun. If they bring a bat, you can use a bat. If they bring a knife, you can use a knife. You can't bring a gun. You can't shoot somebody who's just coming at you with a knife. You have to have the same kind of force. But with that being said, I know I've never had to hit a woman because I know how to take myself out of those situations. But I have said that if it's between me and the other person, whatever, and I have to take care of myself, I will do what's necessary. But again, I haven't ever had to find myself in that situation because I have learned the right time and place to just walk away. There is always the option to walk away. They may follow you, they may harass you about it, but then all you have to do, there's cops everywhere. You can try and find somebody. And
there's not.
You're right. There are a lot of people nowadays who don't feel safe trusting members of law enforcement, and I don't blame them. With that being said, like I said, I don't condone just random acts of violence against another person. That's just being absolutely bullish and being a pussy ass bitch. But I have always been to myself where, like I said, if a woman comes at me with intent to harm me, I will defend myself. But I like DeAndre was saying, I'm not gonna beat her ass to the point where she can't walk or she's unresponsive or something like that. A lot of people that from the fights that I've seen between men and women, when that woman gets that first punch back, the whole situation changes. Because I know a lot of people who are women who have said that they sometimes will get violent because they know somebody won't respond. So it's just a bad situation to be in all around. I don't like the idea of domestic abuse. I know products of domestic abuse, so it's not something that's fun to deal with.
Can I just add, Evan? I know you said that people can always reach out to the police, which you can, I do also want to put out that though this is not something that's thought of often, you actually can also call your fire department.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes,
Yeah, the same
definitely.
way like they can report if like you are on the edge of a bridge and are thinking of ending yourself. People don't think of them,
Okay.
but they tend to be way more non-lethal uh,
Yes,
options
exactly.
for conflict resolution when there's absolutely you don't see a way out of it between you and whatever's happening. So for the people who don't feel like they can go to the police, don't feel like you have no options, like literally Megan the Stallion like went viral again for the fact that she said, she didn't call the police because as a person of color, literally we don't feel safe doing that. And she felt like she was like, we could all die from me making that call. You know what I mean? Versus, someone being arrested for shooting her. And so just keep in mind that there are other options out there. And in that moment, that nugget in the back of your head might be, the thing to make all the difference.
It
So
might be the lifesaver, realistically.
So I do want to piggyback because maybe I'm just not a fan of the cops. However, I know for a fact that in the hood, especially with DV cases, you can tell the cops, you can call the cops all you want, but especially in Philly, they're not coming no time soon,
Right.
or if anything.
Well, and to
So
kind of re-piggyback off that too, that's also, I guess, just my naiveness because I'm a white person who grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, so I've seen it differently. That's not, I can't speak for everybody because you're absolutely right. There are plenty of situations where it doesn't happen like that. Like J. Cole said, they comes fast like 911 in white neighborhoods. It's absolutely true that in different areas of the world, the police aren't necessarily going to be as responsive. So I do understand what you're saying, Dre.
all right, Evan. With that being said, it's your topic.
Okay, so the thing that triggers me the most, a lot of y'all know I'm a father, and I swear to God, when I see any type of evidence or videos of children being abused, I've said it. I've said it numerous times. If I find out the addresses of these motherfuckers, I'm putting them 6 feet in the dirt. I don't give a shit. Um, to me, child abuse is personally the worst thing you could do, in my opinion. Because before I had kids, I didn't think that. Having kids changes everything. Um, I recently heard the story about that lady who called 911 to go do a welfare check on her son because her son's autistic, and he was having separation anxieties from his mother, and he ended up getting shot by the cops. And I posted this on Facebook. I said, "You shoot my innocent son, I'm putting you in the ground, and I'm going to visit my kid because I don't fuck with that shit." Not a lot of people know, but both my kids are autistic. So yeah, my kids drive me nuts, but they're my kids. I would never put them in harm's way. I would never put my hands on them. I discipline my kids. I spank my kids because I was raised different. I used to get my ass whooped all the time, and it made me a better person. I handle a lot more shit under pressure than some of these people who didn't, and that's just how I see it. No, ain't nobody gonna tell me how to raise my fucking kids. But I also know that there is too much punishment. There is a such thing as being too rough on your children. But when I see these stories about, that girl, uh, what is it, Stand with Sophie?
Hmm.
Where she's sitting there telling her dad that mom's boyfriend touches me in places and no one's believing. And she's sitting there crying and saying, why doesn't anyone believe me? That shit breaks my fucking heart to the deepest part of me. And that's mainly attributed to the fact that if any of this shit ever happened to my kids, there would not be a single goddamn soul in this world that would stop me from getting my retribution, no matter what it cost me. So seeing all these kids getting abused, getting mistreated, getting neglected, getting sexually abused, it fucking burns me up inside. And it's the one thing that I can't stand seeing the most on social media. And it's the quickest way to get yourself an ass whooping for me. With that being said, If you don't want to have kids, don't have kids. Or if you don't think you're going to be a good parent, you can put them in the foster system or put them up for adoption. There are plenty of people in this world who will take care of these kids. Stop making the children suffer for the poor choices you made. So,
All right, CJ is on you.
If you don't want to have kids, do the responsible thing in the first place. But wrap it up. Wrap it up. Plan B. But there's all sorts of different things you can do to keep yourself from having a kid. And if you decide to have the kid, but you don't really want kids or like kids, which means it's a stupid decision in the first place, then choose to have the kid either way. Like you said, there's adoption, there's foster care, there's so many different routes you can go instead of keeping a child that you either don't want or know you can't take care of. That's what gonna hold. Just the fact that you know you can't take care of them, but they keep getting anyway. That's a whole type of abuse in itself. And it's not the kid's fault; it's yours. The kid shouldn't be punished for your fuck ups. That's not right. That's all I gotta say on this.
All right. So I think that I'm the only person that was in foster care on this panel. So from being in foster care since I was 11, from working with foster kids and since I was 29, I felt and see a lot of stories of neglect and abuse. And it sucks. CJ Evans right. If you don't want a kid, condoms, plan B, masturbation, shit, even try to pull out. It hurts me. And since I was in foster care, it hurts me when I see kids abused. Hurts me to the core. Working at a nonprofit that was a national nonprofit for foster kids. You get, I know the stats nationally. We get calls nationally about what happened to these kids. And it fucking sucks. I think that, with that being said, I think that we as a society forget what's the difference between abuse and discipline. Now, I know what abuse is. I've been the product of abuse. I've seen abuse. All right. I also know what discipline is. I know that some kids, not all kids, but some kids need to be spanked. Some kids need to be spanked.
Oh yeah.
Now,
I was one of those kids.
Here's the thing, and I tell my mom this all the time, at least once a year. I thank you for the spankings. 100%, 1,000% thank you for those ass whoopings. Thank you, because if it wasn't for those, I don't know where I'll be. I'll either be dead or in jail. Eddie, so I know I quote a lot of comedians, but I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy. Eddie Griffin, and you can tell him I said it. That's the name of the stand-up. He said, "Pain showed you what not to do." You could be thinking, "Damn, I want to rob this convenience store," and then you think about that ass whooping your mom gave you back in the day. And that's what happened for me. I'm not sure if it happened to everybody else, but it happened for me. Like I've 100%. Again, I'm not saying that spankings for everybody, for every kid. However, I do think that some kids need spankings, and I thank my mom for spanking me. Obviously I didn't like them when I was younger, but oh my goodness, they saved my life. Excuse me, they did.
You definitely gain a better sense of being able to stare into the face of adversity. Mm-hmm. Than I've seen in people who weren't spanked, specifically because I can have someone screaming in my face CJ learned this also in the military. Like, I can have someone screaming in my fucking face. Ain't gonna make a damn thing of difference to me.
Actually, I was able to endure the military because I fucking got it at home.
Yeah.
So,
So it's
yeah, the thing is, yeah, like you said, no, not every child. No, every child is different. Some children need to be spanked. It is what it is. Now there are other kids out there that no, just telling them is enough. Depending on who their parents are, depending on their genetics. Like some, you just tell them, in a stern voice, that's enough for them. Some, and there's some children, give them a timeout. That's enough for them. But some kids need to be spanked. I'll tell you right now, as I was a kid, if you were to stick me in timeout, I wouldn't, I wouldn't like spend that time thinking about what, like what I did wrong and what I did, and like trying to atone for it and shit. No. When I went to fucking timeout, I'm thinking, all right, who snitched? How am I getting back? What get in there, or what I did wrong and how I could do it better next time to get away with it.
Ghetto
That's
Tommy
what I'm
Pickles.
thinking when I'm on timeout. That's what I'm thinking when I'm on timeout. When I got my ass whooped, like I ain't doing that shit no more. Yeah, completely different.
All right, Cam's on you.
So I'm kind of gonna work backwards here and kind of go from where you guys left off. I'm Haitian, Haitian American. Both parents are 100% Haitian. Whooping your kids in our culture is pretty much part of the culture. Disciplining your children physically is part of the culture. However, I don't think I was one of those kids that actually needed it. The discipline that I remember being the most effective is taking her to OATV. Or literally one time, my mom, I told her, I don't remember what happened, but I told her that I hated her. And she gave me the silent treatment. It felt like forever. And I knew I would never open my fucking mouth and say that shit to her ever again. So for me, like, the physical shit wasn't needed. However, with that being said, I am the youngest of multiple children, and I know for a fact that at least one other sibling needed that shit. And so I definitely agree that parents assessing their child individually is important. Another thing that I think is also very important is even if you do or believe in a spanking household or however you choose to raise your children. I don't have children. I'm not going to tell people who have children on what to do specifically, but knowing the difference between discipline and taking your anger out onto child is very important. There's a very big difference in that. You should never discipline a child while you're upset. That's not a good combination of shit. Working backwards back to Evan's original trigger, which is child abuse in general. Child abuse, seeing it like on the news and on social media doesn't usually trigger me, only because it only gets to that after something has been done, which is a good thing, I guess. However, there are a lot of children who have or will suffer, and it will never go viral. It will never be a Sophie. It will never, you know what I mean? Like they will never get the attention that they deserve. And unfortunately, the options on how child abuse even comes about is so vast, it's kind of sad. Because I know, like, for Dre, like what probably will come to mind just because of your past and of course your occupation is, you know, children who are in foster care and things like that. But one thing that I seem to notice a lot is not just children in foster care, but parents not watching who the fuck they allow around their children. And I know this is something that it kind of echoes a little bit, but I don't think people still get it. Stop letting any old motherfucking body watch your child. Stop letting somebody you haven't known that long, hasn't really proven themselves, or is just for some reason your child is already telling you that they don't get a good vibe or they don't fuck with them, be around your child. Okay, and I know for a fact, intuition is not something that you get when you get your driver's license or you turn 21. Intuition is something you were born with. If your kid doesn't want to be around somebody, there's a reason for that, and you need to respect it. Because it's not always the parent that is the cause of the abuse. It's the parents' neglect or not paying attention and let somebody else in to cause these issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if anything, that kind of triggers me a little more. And I understand we have a lot going on. Sometimes we're juggling a lot of things. We are human beings. We make mistakes, but don't let that be your fucking mistake. Miss your job. Be late. Another job, easy to replace. Will it be a struggle? Probably. It's 2020. But I'd rather say, we had to struggle and scrape than, I was so worried about not being able to find a babysitter. I let my new boyfriend watch my child and he raped her. Or he, beat her unnecessarily. Or, I found a really cheap nanny on the low and, they shook my child and now my baby's in the hospital. There's so many options on how shit can go wrong from people trusting the wrong people with their children. That's one thing. Now, if you are just straight up abusing your own child, you are a raggedy motherfucker. And I can't stress that enough. And frankly, you better hope I don't come across you. Let's just be real. But yeah, I'm before I let myself go on a tangent, I'm gonna stop there. You can just let that be.
All right, CJ is on you.
It's hard to be trying to put into words with this. Is like people who are in bad situations and choose not to get away from it. People who are in like abusive relationships, and then say they want to get out, and then when you try to help them and try to get out, instead they make excuses for why they can't do it. Like, yeah, all right, you can do this. No, I can't do that because this. No, that triggers it. That irks me to no end. For most of my friends, I am a sounding board. Yeah, hey, you need to talk about something. Hit me up. You know, we need to, we'll hash it out. If people who just need to vent, they know they can hit up my messenger, and they can fucking type out fucking page upon page of whatever is fucking going on, fucking that's messing with them in their head. You just vent. I'll read it and I'll respond. But but when you say you want this, and people are trying to help you, and instead, and you don't take any advice, you just make excuses why you can't do any of that, or you're just like, okay, I'll do it, stuff like that. Like, no, that that upsets me so fucking much. No, it's not just with domestic abuse situations, dude. It's like any situation like that, like you say you want you say you want to you want to go back to school. You want to bury your life, you want to go back to school. But you can't because you have kids. I know a lot of kids who are fucking who are fucking working and going to work in school. You can do that. You can just do this. No, I can't do that because I can't do it. But no, you can. You can try this. No, I can't do it. Like no, I got a job. Yeah, but you can have do daycare, do this. No, I got kids. Well, you can, stuff like that. Anytime you say like, oh, you want it better, but then like come with every excuse in the book not to fucking change your situations, that fucking bugs the shit out of me. It's like, all right, you know what? Yeah, don't even talk to me about it. Don't even bring it up, because all you do is piss me off. Because because obviously you really don't want to do better. You're just talking about it. It's just lip service. You're wasting both our times. That's that's something about bothers the shit out of me.
All right, I'm gonna go first with this one because I have some good and bad about what you just said. Um, the good thing is I'll start with good things though. Uh, I feel like you're talking about quote unquote lazy people with people that say they want to do something but they don't do it. And that's what I come across with that. Maybe it's not what you're talking about, but how I feel because I'm with you. I listen. Any of my true friends know, literally, and maybe I'm not around them all the time, but you can talk to me about anything. We will get through what you're going through together. Your problem now is my problem, and I'm going to help you out. However, I do have some friends, acquaintances, that will say one thing like, "Oh, I want to go to school. What about community college? Yeah, but you had enough money for that. FAFSA, grants, loans, et cetera, amount of money to get you to go to community college." Yeah, but see, when I hear your but now it's not that you want to go. Now I think you just want somebody to feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. Because I'm not gonna lie, maybe I was like that as well. For before I moved out here, I've been saying for a long time, maybe for 2 3 years, that I want to move out of Philly. Actually, all honestly, I was almost going to move to Alabama. God, thank God I didn't. But 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 I was going to move to Alabama. There's a job out there that I applied for and I got. Um, but I really didn't want to move to Alabama. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's probably ignorant to say this, but I thought I was gonna get lynched. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go to
That's
Alabama.
not ignorant.
Uh, um, but for 2 3 years, I was screaming to anybody who will hear me, yo, I want to move out of Philly. I'm going to move out of Philly. I'm going to do this, this. And then I also had plans to do it sometimes as well, but then we fell through. So I now just like an asshole until I did it. Um, so yeah, I understand that part. With the abuse thing though, I know you said that it's not just about abuse. However, you did bring up abuse too. So with the abuse thing, once someone is abused, some let's call them victims. Some victims feel powerless. Remember, I told you abuse is about power. It's not
Yeah.
about it's not anything else about power. And they took their power, so they do anything that that person say. They do anything, and they can't get away from that person. It sucks. So remember, I told you I got that Superman syndrome. I've whooped plenty of people asses, especially like my family in Philly. A family member of mine was getting abused. They called me. I come there. What my man asked? My man actually like tackled me into a car. Hurt like shit. However, I did wind up whooping his ass. Uh, caught cops were called. Got my family member into my car. Took her to my house. She stayed a day or two in my house, and then went right back to him. Nothing else I could do about that. Showed her the bruise on my back and everything. She went right back to him. Person out here getting abused told me about it. Saw my man, one hitter quitter. Put him down. So you ever touch this person again, I'm fucking you up. I might have actually killed you. Walked away. This person still go back to that person.
Yeah. That's the thing. I see in here with that shit all the time, and that's it. That
However,
bothers the shit out of me, especially when you're already away from that person. You know, you're already away from them. You know, and you're telling us how bad it is, how much, how much it hurts, everything.
however,
You go back to that situation.
I can't get mad at them.
Okay.
I can't get mad because I know the psychology of abuse.
I can get mad.
I know the psychology of abuse. I can't really get mad. Now, again, will I help these people again? That's, I mean,
That's
maybe.
the thing, though.
But
Yeah, they keep begging. The same people keep begging for help. It's like
But-
you help them, then they go back. It's like,
it depends
what
on
was the point?
it depends on the person. But I do know the psychology of abusive person. Their power is gone. So if that abuser asks them to do something, they automatically go and do it. I can't get mad at that.
Right.
I really can't.
You can only do so much before you can't keep trying.
Yeah.
And especially with you with the Superman syndrome, the goodness in you wants to keep helping these people who need help, because it completes a part of you that is left empty when you're not doing it. And the cycle of someone continually going back to a situation that's bad for them, for the people who try to help them, the best thing you can do to realize is that there may not be a hope. And that's the hardest thing to realize, is when to pull yourself away from that situation, because it starts to affect your life as well. I've seen it with, I have someone in a distant part of my family, I'm not going to get too deep into it, who was in a bad situation. She was with a partner that's abusive, all this stuff. People try to talk to her about it. She wouldn't leave. I had to refrain myself from interjecting in the situation because I would have ended up in jail for manslaughter. It's the hardest thing to do is to realize when someone may be past the point of trying to help. If you've helped them multiple times, like DeAndre, like I know you say that you've done, and they continue to just retreat back to the safety of what they think is their sanctuary, at some point in time, you have to look at it and saying, is me continuing to give this time and effort worth it?
So here's the thing. Trust me, I understand what both of you are saying. And I know it's going to sound crazy for me because I said I had Superman syndrome. But I feel like, again, with knowing the psychology of somebody that's being abused, you really can't stop helping them. No, you can stop whooping the person's ass. You can stop doing that. However, I feel like if you stop helping them, certain things can happen. One, they could die. The person can kill them.
Yeah.
And with that being said, with that person killing them, you know, you could have did something, or in your back of your mind, you know that you tried to do something, or you could have did something that will fuck your mental up. So yeah, they could die. So there's other things you can do without whooping their ass. You can give them pamphlets. You can give them numbers. You can send them to counseling groups, certain other shit. But I feel like you literally can't stop, especially if they're in an abusive relationship. You can't stop helping them.
But who's to say that at the same time you give them all this information and they continue to piss it away? Then you're just sitting over here trying to do so much for them, but not getting anything in return from it in terms of helping them get out of that situation. So I like you said, I can see it from both ways. I really can. At some point in time, I'm going to step back and look like, okay, I'm not going to waste my effort if you don't want the help. But I also don't have Superman syndrome. So and like you said, you know a lot more about the psychology of a situation like that. For me, someone who doesn't understand the psychology of a situation like that, I'm going to give you like two or three attempts. But if you don't show me growth in me trying to help you out 3 separate times where I'm going out of my way to take care of it or trying to help, I'm not going to waste my energy. But because there are some people destined to not take help.
I don't know people who have left and then go back. That's the stupid fucking shit. Bro, you know, if you already left, no contact. No, they can't fucking talk you into coming back if you don't talk to them. If you choose to answer their phone calls, you choose to answer their emails, you choose to text them, you choose to meet up with them, that's you making stupid fucking decisions. You chose to do that.
Okay. So this one low-key is kind of triggering while listening to this conversation. I'm not gonna lie. Granted, this one was a little broad, so we were talking about everything from you know, someone in a physically abusive situation or relationship, all the way to people saying they want help, but not necessarily being ready to move when you offer that help. Okay. So I'm trying to find a way to cover that span. So I'm going to start on the light end of people who say they want to do something or, you know, need help in a certain way. But when you offer suggestions or help, they make excuses or aren't ready to move, right? There's a certain level of understanding that needs to come with this overall. And the biggest thing is you can't make someone to be ready to do something. They have to be ready on their own to do it. Otherwise, it will fail. I use a lot of metaphors and shit like that. I ran track. I was decent at long jump. They wanted me to try triple jump. One time during the triple jump, I like misstepped. I fucked up my ankle, right? Obviously, they come, offer you a hand. I knew I wasn't ready to get off the ground. Some people straight up walked away. They're like, oh, okay, well, you know what I mean? You'll sit there for a while, cool. And some people stood there until I was ready to get up. And that is the difference between the kind of help that you can offer. You can either say, be there in the moment, say, hey, if you want help right now, I got you, and then dip. And there are some people who will say, I will sit here and wait for you to be ready. And then when you need that help, I will still be here to offer it. Personally, I think the latter is more important. Is this something we can all offer? No, we have our own lives to live, our own stories to take care of, you know, live or whatever, or right, our own family to take care of. Sometimes we can't offer to stand there and wait. I understand that. And so neither is wrong. But if someone's not ready to make that step, they're not ready. I am 30 and currently in college. I started in my 20s, it didn't work out. Could I have gone to the community college later down the line? Yes, but those credits didn't transfer. It would have ended up being a waste of time and money, and I knew that. So I'd rather sit and wait till it was a time for me to go and then do what I got to do. And now I'm at that place and I'm doing it. So that's the light end of things. Now, as far as for, you know, physical, emotional, mental abuse situation type things, it almost falls into the same precedent. That person has to prepare themselves to leave. You can't just up and leave like it's, oh, I don't like these pairs of shoes, I'm out. Like, your life is here. You've invested a certain amount of things. And on top of it, I know it happens to men as well, but obviously I believe the proportion is more women than men. Women, obviously being emotional creatures, we are built a certain type of way. And unfortunately, logic and feeling, they don't always go together, okay? And on top of that, usually there's always mental abuse involved. It can be only mental abuse, it could be mental and emotional abuse, it can be mental, emotional, and physical abuse. You can get the whole, you know, you can hit the whole lottery if you hit the wrong person. But you have to understand that it's not just like, oh, I whooped your ass. They also probably implanted the thought that ain't no one ever gonna love you but me. There's nowhere you're gonna be able to go. I won't be able to find you. There's a lot of stuff implanted. Okay, now most people, if they are hopefully aware enough or conscious enough, they will see those and dip. Like, man, fuck out of here. But if you, and to be honest, it's the same reason people get into cults and somehow you drank the Kool-Aid and died, or all of a sudden you're in some shit because you put your guard down. You think this is someone that's supposed to be caring about you, and you've convinced yourself that if they love me, what they're saying won't be bad for me. And so then you intake that information as true, whether it is or not, because it's coming from someone you think loves you or cares about you. There's shit my mom said from years ago. I don't actually know if it's right, but because she loves me, I assumed it was, and I carried it with me then.
Right.
And the same goes for people that you let into your lives. So I understand it's frustrating as fuck. I have someone very close to me who spent a very long part of her life getting her ass whooped by her fucking baby dad. Do I want to take his head off? Yes. Does her baby dad still come around to see her child? He lets her do that? She lets him do that? Yes. And I have to accept that that is her choice. But she also knows at any point in time, if she chooses to stand up, I'm going to be there with my hand out and my gats to be there for her. You see what I'm saying? And that's the most that you can do.
One of my favorite female rappers is Eve. Eve is amazing Philly rapper, now married to a billionaire, so get your money, baby.
Yeah, she ain't gotta rap nothing more.
She was a stripper first, though. Remember that.
All she gotta do now is rap gifts.
Yeah.
Why did we have to remember that?
I'm saying,
Have you seen her?
her growth from being a hood chick from a stripper to a rapper to a billionaire, because technically, so soon that man dies, that's all hers. So because there's no prenup. So that growth. Listen, get your money, baby.
Yeah. Oh.
However, she had a song called "Love Is Blind." I'm not sure if 100% everybody in the West Coast. Again, I wasn't here when the West Coast.
I don't know that one.
Listen to "Love Is Blind."
Oh yes, I remember that one.
Listen to "Love Is Blind" by Eve. It's literally about what TJ and basically almost everybody here talked about. It's an amazing fucking song. All right. With that being said, that's the end of Nasty Bitters. My name is DeAndre Robinson. These are my friends. Say goodbye, friends.
Once again, my name is Evan Amataki. I swear to God, if you fucking abuse children, I will fucking end your life.
Hey.
This your boy CJ, a.k.a. Long Don Silver.
I'm super tired, but I also want to make sure that you guys don't take away from the fact that apparently all of us are willing to whoop somebody's ass.